People often misunderstand wealth. They think money is the cause. Money is not the cause, it is the result. The mind is the cause. The discipline is the cause. The understanding is the cause. And until you straighten out how you think, you will forever chase results without ever building the machinery that produces them. A rich mentality is not about arrogance or showing off. It is not about luck. It is not about pretending to be successful before you are. It is about something infinitely more boring and far more powerful: clear thinking, delayed gratification, continuous learning, and ruthless self-discipline. Let me tell you what the rich mentality is really made of. Not theory, reality. Reality backed by history, by psychology, by the cold mathematics of compounding, and by the observable differences between those who advance and those who stay stuck arguing about why they can't. A rich mentality starts with a simple acceptance. The world does not care about your excuses. It never did. Success does not negotiate with laziness. The market doesn't reward talent that sits idle. The universe does not pay attention to feelings when assigning outcomes. Wealth does not come to people because they want it. It comes to those who earn it, in knowledge, in judgment, in patience, in discipline. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people would rather invent emotional stories about why others succeed than look in the mirror and dissect their own habits. It's far easier to blame circumstances than to build competence. The rich mentality understands this difference immediately. The world doesn't hand you wealth. It hands you opportunities disguised as responsibility, difficulty, and time. The poor mentality says, why is life unfair? The rich mentality says, life is unfair, so what's my plan? This is not cynicism. This is maturity. You want wealth. Grow up mentally before you grow financially. See, people chase motivation but ignore discipline. Motivation is cheap. Discipline is gold. Motivation shouts loudly for a day. Discipline whispers quietly and persists for decades. Wealth answers to the whisper, not the shout. You want a rich life. Then understand this: consistency beats intensity. You don't build wealth in a weekend seminar, in a lucky trade, in a viral moment. True wealth is built brick by brick, habit by habit, decision by decision. Small daily rational choices, repeated long enough, become extraordinary results. And because of that, the rich mentality values patience, not passive waiting, but intelligent, intentional waiting. Patience tied to knowledge is a superpower, but patience without preparation is laziness. The rich mentality does not confuse the two. Most people are impatient with results, but patient with distractions. They rush into stupid investments, but procrastinate on reading, learning, or planning. They want exponential growth without exponential discipline. They want compounding without consistency. They want freedom without responsibility. Life does not work like that. Let's talk about pain, because pain is part of the equation. A rich mentality understands that pain is information. It is feedback. It is reality tapping you on the shoulder saying, adjust. There is no progress without discomfort. There is no strength without stress. Muscles don't grow in comfort. Neither does character, neither does wealth. A rich mentality runs toward uncomfortable truth. A poor mentality hides behind comforting fantasies. When something goes wrong, most people defend their ego. A rich mentality defends its future. When faced with failure, most people look for sympathy. A rich mentality looks for lessons. Failure does not destroy a rich thinker. Failure educates them, but only if they are humble enough to listen to the slap of reality. Humility. That's another critical piece. Real wealth builders are not loud. They are not flamboyant. They don't need to announce themselves. They move quietly, think deeply, and make decisions that look boring until one day everyone calls them lucky. Luck favors the prepared mind. Prepared minds are built on humility, the willingness to admit what you do not know and go learn it. Ego blocks learning. Ego blocks progress. Ego keeps you broke. And there is nothing more foolish than combining ignorance and ego. If you are not willing to look stupid while learning, you will never escape your conditions. The rich mentality does not fear being a beginner. It does not fear asking questions. It fears ignorance. It fears stagnation. Another truth: a rich mentality does not chase trends. It studies fundamentals. There will always be new schemes, new hype, new shortcuts. The world is full of noise and illusion, but wealth is rooted in principles, not trends. If you don't understand money, you will hand yours to someone who does. So learn, read, observe, ask better questions, improve your judgment, because wealth is mostly a function of judgment. A single right decision executed with patience can build an empire. A single foolish decision made emotionally can destroy decades of progress. Every impulse you indulge, every distraction you tolerate, every careless action you justify, these are taxes you pay to ignorance. The rich mentality understands opportunity cost, that doing the wrong thing prevents you from doing the right thing. Time is your real asset, not money. Money multiplies only if time is protected. A poor mentality wastes time because it does not value compounding. It thinks in days. A rich mentality thinks in decades. It sees long-term consequences, not short-term dopamine. You don't get rich by thinking right now. You get rich by thinking forever. And that's why character matters. Wealth without character collapses. The market tests integrity. Society tests patience. Time tests discipline. Life tests resilience. If you break under emotional pressure, you lose. If you build emotional mastery, money becomes a side effect. Let me tell you something simple. Self-control is wealth. If you cannot control your impulses, someone else will profit from them. A rich mentality says no more often than yes. It prioritizes productive boredom over destructive excitement. It does not chase stimulation, it chases results. And results are built on habits, not hopes. Your daily habits reveal your financial destiny long before money arrives. Are you learning or wasting time? Are you investing or consuming? Are you building systems or chasing shortcuts? Are you thinking long-term or reacting emotionally? You cannot cheat your habits. Your results will expose them. And let's talk about environment. A rich mentality does not surround itself with complainers, gossips, spectators, or excuse manufacturers. Environment is leverage. If everyone around you is drifting, they will pull you with them. If you stand among doors, you rise. Wealth gravitates towards certain values: discipline, competence, humility, consistency, curiosity. Surround yourself with people who value improvement, who talk about ideas, not drama, who discuss goals, not gossip, who respect learning more than entertainment, who respect time more than comfort. That environment will make you wealthy before the money arrives. And there is one more uncomfortable truth: most people are not willing to do what it takes. Mentally, not physically, mentally. The true challenge is not work. Most people will work hard. The real challenge is thinking accurately, acting rationally, delaying pleasure, confronting truth, resisting impulse, and controlling emotion. A rich mentality is not born. It is built block by block, book by book, decision by decision, year by year. It is shaped in silence, forged in discipline, strengthened by failure, polished by humility, rewarded by time. So ask yourself, not how do I get rich? That's a shallow question. Ask, how do I become the type of person wealth is attracted to? Because if you build the mentality, the money follows. If you chase the money without building the mentality, even if it comes, it will slip through your hands like water through open fingers. Your habits create your future. Your discipline builds your advantage. Your patience compounds your results. Your humility protects your learning. Your judgment shapes your destiny. Wealth is not a miracle. Wealth is math plus psychology plus time. If you master thinking, master patience, master discipline, and master yourself, the universe has no choice but to cooperate eventually. So choose growth, choose clarity, choose consistency, choose rationality, choose discipline, choose the long game, and above all, choose responsibility. Because the moment you accept that your life is in your hands, every door begins to crack open. Wealth does not respond to hope. Wealth responds to responsibility and intelligent action. Build the mind and the money follows. Build the character and the future obeys. You want a rich life. Then build a rich mentality, because without it, no amount of money will ever save you from yourself. A rich mentality builds assets. A poor mentality builds excuses. And the difference between those two is not income, not education, not nationality, not childhood, not timing. It is choices. Consistent choices. Repeated choices. Assets are not only things you own, they are things you build, things you grow, things you protect, things you refine over time. Excuses are not only words spoken, they are beliefs, habits, emotional defaults, and mental escape routes disguised as logic. One path builds leverage, the other builds limitation. People misunderstand assets. They think assets are only stocks or real estate or businesses. They are those things, yes. But before any external asset exists, there must be internal assets. Your mindset is an asset. Your discipline is an asset. Your resilience is an asset. Your knowledge is an asset. Your network, when built on credibility and trust, becomes an asset. Your reputation, that's an asset that compounds faster than money when protected and destroyed faster than money when neglected. People build buildings but forget to build themselves and then wonder why the structure collapses when stress arrives. Wealth is built from the inside out. Before a person ever buys their first share, they must first build the habit of saving. Before they build a business, they must first build resourcefulness, decision-making skills, humility, and the ability to withstand uncertainty. Before they build relationships that open doors, they must first build integrity and reliability. Everything external is built upon something internal. Assets follow growth. Excuses follow stagnation. And excuses are seductive. They always sound reasonable. They always feel justified. They always arrive dressed in emotion and self-protection. The timing isn't right. I don't have support. What if I fail? Other people have it easier. It's not my fault. Excuses give temporary relief but permanent limitation. They protect your feelings while destroying your future. And the world is full of them, a buffet of justifications for staying exactly where you are. In modern life, excuses are abundant and discipline is rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. That's why disciplined thinking is wealth, because very few can force themselves to see truth instead of comfort. The rich mentality treats excuses like poison, not because life is perfect, but because excuses weaken your ability to act in imperfect circumstances. And circumstances are always imperfect. If you wait for a perfect environment, you will wait forever. If you wait for everyone to understand you, you will wait forever. If you wait for guaranteed outcomes, you will wait forever. You don't need perfect conditions, you need progress. Wealth is not built in ideal conditions, it is built in reality. Sometimes chaotic, sometimes difficult, often unclear. Those who move anyway build momentum. Those who hesitate build regret. People with a poor mentality treat obstacles as stop signs. People with a rich mentality treat obstacles as instructions. One asks, why is this happening to me? The other asks, how do I adapt? Excuses fixate on the wall. Assets build ladders. One mindset sees the world as adversarial, the other sees it as solvable. And the difference between stuck and rising often boils down to one skill, the ability to find options where others see barriers. Look at how resourceful minds think. When they lack money, they invest time. When they lack connections, they build value. When they lack skill, they learn. When they face rejection, they refine their approach. When they encounter slow progress, they trust compounding. They are not delusional dreamers. They are practical optimists. They don't assume the path will be easy. They assume they will grow strong enough to walk it. That is an asset, a mind calibrated for solutions, not suffering. Every wealthy thinker has gone through periods where they felt unqualified, underprepared, misunderstood, overwhelmed, and sometimes alone. But instead of choosing excuses, they chose growth. Instead of waiting for help, they became capable. Instead of wishing for opportunity, they built competence so opportunity would eventually seek them. There is a quiet dignity in that, a deep power in choosing agency over victimhood. Consider your time, the ultimate asset. The rich mentality treats time as capital. It does not waste mornings scrolling aimlessly. It does not numb itself nightly with distraction. It invests hours into learning, creating, building, thinking, planning, improving. It sees each day as a unit of compound interest. Wasted hours do not vanish harmlessly. They erode the foundation of your future. Most people don't lose life in one dramatic collapse. They lose it minute by minute, habit by habit, excuse by excuse, comfort by comfort, until potential becomes memory. A poor mentality spends time as if it were infinite and energy as if it were cheap. It avoids tasks that build long-term benefit in favor of activities that offer immediate comfort. But comfort without earned security is not peace. It is disguised decay. True comfort comes from capability. True stability comes from preparation. A rich mentality doesn't avoid effort, it respects effort. And when you respect effort, effort rewards you. Now consider knowledge. Knowledge is not just information. Information is everywhere. Knowledge is structured understanding. It is the ability to sort truth from noise, signal from distraction. It is the willingness to read, to study, to listen, to analyze. It is the humility to admit ignorance and the discipline to correct it. A rich mentality views knowledge as a lifelong investment. A poor mentality views it as a chore or feels threatened by it. Ignorance defended becomes permanent. Ignorance acknowledged becomes temporary. The world punishes the first and rewards the second. Knowledge becomes an asset only when applied. Most people don't suffer from lack of knowledge. They suffer from lack of execution. They know what to do. They simply refuse to do it. Why? Excuses, fear, ego, discomfort. There is no shortage of information today, only a shortage of disciplined action. People binge podcasts instead of building skills. They read motivational quotes instead of building routines. They confuse inspiration with transformation. The rich mentality does not collect ideas, it implements ideas. Slowly, steadily, relentlessly. Then there's emotional discipline, an asset more valuable than money because money multiplies emotion. If you are impulsive, wealth magnifies your recklessness. If you are insecure, wealth magnifies your anxiety. If you are ego-driven, wealth magnifies your foolishness. The rich mentality understands that emotional control is not optional, it is foundational. You cannot build lasting wealth with a volatile mind. You cannot make rational decisions when governed by impulse. Most financial mistakes are not analytical errors. They are emotional ones. People panic sell, overspend, speculate blindly, chase status, or pursue envy disguised as ambition. Emotional mastery is a financial moat. Excuse-driven minds claim emotion is uncontrollable. Wealth-driven minds train themselves to control response even when they cannot control stimulus. What about relationships? They are assets too when built intentionally. Not opportunistically, not selfishly, but strategically and ethically. The rich mentality understands reciprocity. It understands that doors open for those who open doors. It understands that credibility compounds. Every time you keep a promise, you earn silent trust. Every time you break one, you incur silent debt. A poor mentality seeks advantage without value. It asks for opportunity without offering anything in return. It burns bridges and then complains about isolation. A rich mentality builds bridges long before they are needed. It treats people as potential allies, not transactions. It invests in goodwill. Social capital pays dividends that money cannot buy. And let's talk about consistency, the rarest asset of all. Anyone can act motivated for a day. Anyone can set goals for a week. Anyone can reform habits for a month. But consistent effort over years, that is rare, and rarity creates value. Consistent improvement creates inevitable success. A poor mentality seeks intensity over consistency, wild bursts of ambition followed by collapse into old habits. A rich mentality embraces boring excellence. It knows that repetition produces mastery, and mastery produces results. Quiet, steady, daily progress. That is the engine of wealth. People confuse excitement for progress. They fall in love with dreams and complain about discipline. But dreams without discipline become sedatives. They pacify but do not produce. The world rewards those who do what others avoid: perseverance, structure, self-regulation, long-term planning, delayed gratification. These behaviors are assets more powerful than capital because they attract capital. Ask someone what they want in life, they will list desires. Ask someone what they're willing to work for. You will learn their fate. A poor mentality wants results without responsibility. It wants progress without sacrifice. It wants improvement without discomfort. But discomfort is the entrance fee. Sacrifice is the tuition. Responsibility is the permission slip. Growth does not negotiate with comfort. Assets require nurturing. Excuses require nothing but surrender. And every day, consciously or unconsciously, you choose which one you are building. The beautiful thing, assets compound quietly. At first, you don't notice the change. You feel like nothing is happening. You doubt yourself. But over time, discipline forms competency. Competency forms confidence. Confidence forms momentum. And momentum forms results. Meanwhile, excuses compound too, but in reverse. At first, nothing seems wrong. You feel safe. Then opportunities fade, options shrink. Capability weakens and regret accumulates. Regret is the interest penalty on excuses. Look at the world. Truly look. Most people are not defeated by circumstances. They are defeated by their own minds long before reality even has a chance. Their conditions do not imprison them. Their thinking does. They build emotional cages and guard them like treasure. They argue for their limitations stronger than others argue for their potential. They sabotage themselves, then call life unfair. Fairness was never promised. Opportunity was. But opportunity only matters to those prepared to act. You must decide who you are becoming every day. You either invest in your future or mortgage it. Every excuse delays your evolution. Every disciplined action advances it. Wealth is not luck. Luck is simply the moment preparation meets opportunity. Wealth is not personality. It is philosophy. Wealth is not inheritance. It is internal inheritance first. You inherit your outcomes from your thoughts long before you inherit them from your bank account. So build internal assets relentlessly. Let others waste time. You build. Let others chase distraction. You study. Let others cling to comfort. You strengthen your capacity. Let others justify their stagnation. You justify your growth. Let others hope for miracles. You build mechanisms. Let others complain. You improve. And as you do, quietly, steadily, without applause or validation, you transform into the kind of mind that money is magnetized to, the kind of person opportunities search for, the kind of individual life eventually rewards not out of favoritism, but out of mathematical inevitability, because excellence compounded becomes unavoidable